The Baltimore Ravens head to the city of Cleveland for a Saturday matinee showdown against division rival, the Cleveland Browns. Week 15 is here, and I'm going to break it down for you as only I can on the Flex Zone Podcast YouTube channel. Only place giving you your scores how you want it when you need it. Ravens preview coming to you now. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that bell. Of course, give me your predictions, players to watch, and your overall thoughts on this Week 15 matchup. The Ravens take on the Browns. Another Ravens preview coming to you live right after this. Happy Thursday, Friday Eve. I'm coming to you a little bit early this week, Flex Zone family, and I'll try to do the same next week as the Ravens have 2 straight Saturday games. This Saturday, Week 15 against Cleveland, and next Saturday, Christmas Eve against the Atlanta Falcons back here at M&T Bank Stadium. Now, Ravens coming to this game, winning finally after 4 straight losses to the Steelers, moving to 9-4, getting to 9 wins. I think the magic number is 2, and by 2 I mean they can get to 11 wins, win 2 more games. They will have a valid shot, I think, at securing their playoff standing and potentially an AFC North crown for this season. The Ravens did it last week with dominant defense, timely turnovers, and a dominant running game, and they beat their rivals in Pittsburgh. And in a sense, got one of their biggest wins of the season, in my opinion, because no Lamar Jackson. In the offense, honestly, they were down to their third-string quarterback, but we talked about that. Talked about it on a post-game show. Hope more of the same this week. Tyler Huntley was knocked out last week with a concussion. He has clear concussion protocol, so all signs are pointing to him playing on Saturday afternoon. As I mentioned, with this being a Saturday game, it bumps everything up a day. So the Ravens are pretty much having their last day of practice today, and they will have a walkthrough tomorrow on Friday. Huntley looks like he's going to be the starter, thankfully. And J.K. Dobbins had a big week last week, and I wanted to get the preview to you guys a day earlier, so that's why I'm here today. J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards had a big week. The offensive line, Linderbaum, Stanley, Cologne filling in for Zeitler. Zeitler looks like he's on track to return this week. Morgan Moses is banged up a little bit, but looks like he is going to play. So offensive line is steady and in unison, playing together under one chemistry, and it looks really, really beautiful. Defensive line is dominating. Some of the big plays on defense didn't, like Marlon Humphrey, Marcus Peters the past few weeks, but Roquan Smith and Pat Quinn are the best linebacking duo probably outside of Buffalo, in my opinion, with Milano and Edmonds, but consistent pressure is going to be consistently needed this week because Ravens will get some sacks. Roquan had a sack, and Queen had a sack, and then they'll get a sack, and then you won't hear from them the rest of the game. They'll get sacks in the first 2 quarters. Oh, they'll be dominating. Then in the third and fourth quarter, when they need to go off the field, need a timely sack, they can't get consistent pressure. Calais Campbell had the blocked field goal last week. Special teams player of the week was he for the NFL AFC Special Teams player of the week, 1 sack away from 100 for his career. Does he get it this week? I think it's safe to say he gets it in one of these final 5 games, and I think he has a really, really good chance of being over and part of that 100 sack club. And I really, really think that Calais Campbell's leadership has been really, really important to this defense, and he's still showing. Hopefully, we can get some more, possibly from Justin Houston. He's been kind of cold as of late. Do we finally see David Ojabo make his debut? I would love to see him at this point just go ahead and bench Owe and just go ahead and put in my boy Ojabo. Bowser had the other sack last week. I said Queen. Queen had a pick. Roquan Smith a pick and a sack. Bowser looks really, really good. You're not going to sit him. He had a sack. Owe, I want to see Owe benched, and I want to see Ojabo playing this week. And on the offense, I want to see Charlie Coleman make his debut as well. But as I said, let's get to the keys to the game. Let's get to my outlook and my overall prediction. I think the game is going to be interesting, a hard-hitting, physical AFC North rivalry, like we saw last week. Buckle your chin straps, bring your lunch pail. Look for physicality to be the theme. Look for two solid defensive teams. Look for low scoring and look for the wind to play a factor. It's going to be cold and windy, even though the Ravens are used to cold. Look for a cold and windy game as well. My keys to the game: offensively, number one, run the rock. Dobbins, Edwards, they should at least, between the two of them, have 30 to 35 carries. And I think things will be trending in the right way for this Ravens offense if they can get 30 and 35 carries between the two of them. You want to do 15-15, one with 14, one with 16. Hey, I think Dobbins is going to trend and get more healthy as the season goes on, as is Edwards battling some injuries as well. Run the rock. Stay consistent. Stay committed, like I said last week. And they did, and they won. Next, with running the rock, the offensive line has continued to dominate. Interiorly, they did a really good job pulling Linderbaum. Cologne, Tyler probably back. And I think Ben Powers probably the most improved Raven this year. Doing a hell of a job. Stanley is, he's a post pro. Moses or Makari, whoever's in at the right side, Maul dominate interior wise, especially between the tackles on those short yardage and third downs where they need to move the football. So running the rock, offensive line continue to dominate. Tight ends and wide receivers get some yak. Andrews only had 2 catches last week. No likely. Duvernay, no catches. We know this team is going to, looks like, take a lot of deep shots. And it's going to be windy on Saturday, so that will be tough. You're going to have to get yak. Guys going to have to make plays, make a guy miss. Bateman was the second best guy on the team for yak. He's out for the year. Andrews, likely. Likely is good at yak. Duvernay, Deshaun Jackson, DeMarcus Robinson. Somebody has to get yak. Take a 5 or 10-yard pass and turn it into a 20, 25, 30-yard gain like we see other teams do with the dink and dump aspect of dumping it off short and guys getting yardage after the catch, making guys miss, and moving a 10 to 15-yard reception to a 25, 30-yard reception and really getting that big play opening up the defense. Lastly, offensively, convert third downs. Tyler Huntley, don't take big hits when you don't need to. Run the football effectively on short yardage. Use play action, and don't turn the ball over as well as my next one because you don't want to. You're going to have a hard time scoring points. You don't want to put yourself in a worse position by not going to third down. Turn the ball over. Defensively, keep Cleveland under 100 yards rushing. Cincinnati did a really good job last week. I think the first game Chubb had over 80. I think they can keep Chubb anywhere between 70 to 85 and Hunt under 20 yards. I don't think Hunt wants to be there, honestly. He wants to get a big contract and get traded. But if they can keep Chubb under 85 yards or so, like they did the first game, and then keep Hunt under 20, I think they can keep Cleveland collectively under 100, though. They'll be in really good shape. They're the number 2 rush defense in the NFL. I think they'll keep them under 90, in my opinion, just because of the way they're playing good against the run. Next, get consistent pressure on Deshaun Watson. He's back. First game, man. Second game, a little bit better. So he's stacking. He's getting better. He's getting back to that possible top 5 quarterback-esque ability that he has. Keep consistent pressure. Get consistent pressure on Deshaun Watson. I would like to see at least 2 to 3 sacks on him. Don't let him run around. Don't let him extend plays. Don't let him just sit back there in the pocket and shred you apart either because he can do both. Hopefully, Ajabo plays. He may not. I'm going to believe when I see it. Oh, wait. Bowser, Campbell, Houston. Somebody, Queen, Roquan. We know we're going to see them blitzing a lot. Get consistent pressure on Deshaun Watson. At least 2 to 3 sacks would be helping out this team get some stops. No big plays over 30 yards. Last week, Deontay Johnson had a play for 30-plus yards, and George Pickens ate up Marlon Humphreys for almost 50 for 47. No big plays over 30 yards. Running, no big runs over 20, 30 yards. If possible, no big passing plays. They got Cooper. They got Njoku. They got guys, Donovan, Peoples, Jones, and get yak. Contain them. No big plays over 30 yards. Next and lastly, get takeaways out of the offense. Marcus Williams is back. Great to see him back last week. Having him in the back end helps out a lot of mistakes they make. Having the pass rush, hopefully, having Roquan Smith, having Queen playing the way they're playing. Get an interception. Get an interception or 2. I've been saying, the past probably 3 weeks to a month, we need a defensive touchdown. I think this is the week. I'm going to say it again. This is the week they get a defensive touchdown. Whether it's a fumble recovery for a touchdown, an interception recovery, an interception return for a touchdown, Marcus Williams, Humphrey, Peters. Peters is due for a big game where he makes a big gamble and pays off, maybe where he gets a pick 6 on jumping a route or knowing a play that's about to happen. Let's get that big time defensive touchdown and help out your offense. Special teams, watch the wind. It's going to be windy. Tuck, I don't really have a problem with you kicking. It's going to be off the leg. It's windy. We know that. I think Tucker can adjust well. I think anything inside of 60 yards, he's pretty much automatic for. And anything under 70, really, if you want to be honest, but definitely in those conditions, definitely anything under 60. And powerful punts. George Stout, we know he's battling a little bit of an injury, but he's going to play. Battle, powerful punts. I think, 4 of his 5 punts have been inside the 20. So keep that ball inside the 20 to 10 to 15. If not inside the 5, if you can do that, help out your defense and change the field. You know, the Ravens are some of the best at special teams. Let's go back to the keys one more time. Offensively, run the rock. Next, offensive line continue to dominate. Third, tight ends and wide receivers get yak. And lastly, convert third downs. And no turnovers as well with the third down. Defense, keep Cleveland under 100 rushing yards. Next, get consistent pressure on Deshaun Watson, 2 to 3 sacks minimum. No plays over 30 yards. Get takeaways that help your offense, special teams, watch the win, and powerful punts. Let me know your keys to the game as well before I give you my prediction. As I mentioned, don't think it's going to be a high scoring game. Windy, cold, physical AFC North battle, chin strap, lunch pail. I think both defenses are pretty solid. Myles Garrett, I think, is a key to watch as well on the other side. As I mentioned, in Joe Cool, People Jones, and Cooper, keeping them under those big yak plays, nothing like 30 yards, and keeping Chubb and Hunt under 100 is going to be key. And get some pressure on Watson, as I mentioned. So I think the Ravens are going to, you know what? I think they're going to score more points than they scored last week. I don't think they're going to think, okay, I could see a 19-16 game. I could see a 21-17 game. I could see a 14-13 game. But I like the 19 would mean a lot of Tucker and limited offensive touchdowns. I think the Ravens will get 19. I think they'll get that defensive touchdown. I think they will have trouble scoring touchdowns in the red zone, but they'll get some field goals from Tucker. But I'm going to go Ravens 19, Browns 16. Ravens 19, Browns 16. Final score prediction. Ravens get another win. I've only picked against them once this season, but again, I'm going with the Ravens here 19. I thought this is a game that could go either way as I looked at the schedule before the season. This is no different here. Look for the Ravens and Browns to be nipped tucked. I'm going to go Ravens 19, Browns 16. That's my prediction. Let me know yours down below. I have the Ravens getting 1 touchdown, whether that's a defensive touchdown finally after a month of me saying it, which they could use, or a good offensive drive maybe late in the game to punch it in with the run game, using play action as well. I could see the Ravens winning 19-16. I think Deshaun Watson will get a touchdown, and they'll get field goals as well. I say Ravens 19, Browns 16. Let me know your prediction. Let me know your keys to the game down below as well. If you're new to the channel, just joining us, appreciate all the love, appreciate all the support. Hit the like button, helps us out tremendously. Comment helps us out tremendously. Let me know your keys, prediction, and anything I need to be watching for, any bold predictions you got as well, which I look forward to seeing. Tyler Huntley looks like he's going to start, thankfully. Even though Anthony Brown, got to give him credit, he did good as well. And I wouldn't have felt too bad. I probably would still pick the Ravens if Anthony Brown was starting as well. Defensively, I think this is going to carry this team, defense, special teams, at least until maybe early January when Lamar gets back. Subscribe if you're new. Go ahead and stack that subscribe button, stick that like button, leave us a thumbs up, and go ahead and bulldoze that bell for all notifications to know when we're live. Post-game show will be immediately after the game Saturday evening. This is a Saturday 4:30 p.m. game, everybody. Saturday evening, probably sometime after 8 p.m. Eastern time, we'll be live. Hit the bell to know when we're live. Post-game show, myself, Big Rod, social media producer, and Flex on Podcast. Only place giving you your sports how you want when you need it. God's favorite host signing out. Ravens Browns week 15 season winding down. Ravens, I think, magic number of 2 to clinch. That would put them at 11 wins and possibly even an AFC North, which will guarantee a home game in the playoffs. But the Ravens haven't fared too well as being a home team in the playoffs. Last time they were at home, we know what happened. But get the wins. I'd rather play at home in the playoffs than play on the road. God's favorite host signing out, y'all. Peace. I'm going with the Ravens again, 19-16. I'm going to score, keys, and bold predictions down below. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you're new. We'll see you Saturday for the official Baltimore Ravens post-game show after they take on the Cleveland Browns, 4:30 p.m. NFL Network and WBAL locally, Channel 11. I'm out, y'all. Have a great night, and we'll talk to you Saturday. Peace.